Welcome to the Dad Exchange. Today, we are talking about real things with real dads. And every week, we're giving you a podcast that has that conversation. I'm your host, Tommy T. And today, we got a very, very special guest. It's funny about this guy because I think I met him when I was 13. And one thing he doesn't know is him, Tony, Tyrus, who else? Gerald. I ran summer track with them when I was the baby. No other, the great, the legend. We got Kenneth Henderson in the building.
Man. I don't know about legend, but dude,
I'll
take it.
Look, this is your legend. You're like, I was thinking about it on the ride over here.
Yeah.
You're like in my top 5, right? Mm-hmm. You're like top 2. Of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life.
That's the first time I heard it. Fastest, that's the fastest first time people. I heard it.
Like it's I don't even want to put a top 2, top 3 thing to it. It's you, LaMel, and Booney. Are the fastest people I've ever seen.
I'm in good company. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But
and you've seen some fast people.
I've seen some fast people.
I'll take it.
Now I'm talking about I take that back. Y'all are the fastest people that I've seen that I know.
Okay.
That's better.
I'll take
because
that.
I seen a guy named Batman and he.
Hey, funny thing is I just talked to him the other day.
Really?
And he coaches youth football out here.
Yeah.
And he does a real good job with the kids. And another funny thing is I played against him.
Really?
In arena football.
That's crazy.
I caught a touchdown on him, and as I fell, he fell on top of me and broke my collarbone.
Oh, dang.
So, yep, I played. And I remember Batman because
right.
from track. And he had a great career, and he's doing amazing. Like, he's got the #1 youth program in the nation.
That's dope.
Down in Atlanta. But, he was beyond fast.
Yeah, dude.
I ain't nowhere near his.
But I'm just saying, though, man, like for a 13-year-old kid to come in first year running summer track, and then you out there. I don't forgot who else was like in y'all. I think y'all was 17, 18.
Yeah, me, Gerald Riggs was out there.
Gerald
who was
Riggs
an amazing
was out
football
there.
player. Gerald Riggs, Tony Owens. I'm trying to think. Chris Sands was out there.
Sandman, yep.
Pastor Sands now.
Right.
Chris Sands was out there. Antonio Arnold was out there as well.
Yeah.
So we had a nice group of kids.
It was so nice, man. And man, just a kid looking up to you guys and seeing how you guys do. Mm-hmm. I knew I was okay when I came to high school. I was still in middle school then. Yeah. But when I got to high school, I knew I was okay because you guys had took really, really good care of me. Yeah. Like being the young dude. Yeah. So I actually appreciate you being that guy.
My pleasure.
But outside of that, you are a dad, a husband, a entrepreneur, and that's what we want to talk about today. Mm-hmm. So if you could just tell us a little bit more about yourself, and everything like that, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah, man. I'm Kenneth Henderson, of course, a graduate from Brainerd, very, very proud graduate of Brainerd. I know Brainerd gets a bad rap now and then, but I am excited and honored and privileged to be a graduate from Brainerd. Yeah. From Brainerd, I had a chance to excel in some sports, and a lot of people are smart. A lot of people can read. A lot of people can write and talk and got the gift of gab. My thing was I was a kid all the time. Yeah. Right. And so I played sports literally all the time. I was lucky enough to take that and to make it a way into college. Mm-hmm. Didn't have to pay for college. Was lucky enough to go to Tuskegee University, an illustrious Black college. Yeah. That experience in itself is priceless. Yeah. And to think I got a chance to do it for free just because I played sports. I was a kid.
Right.
And that, and a lot of people look at that and they see, hey, he plays sports all the time. And I was like a 3.0 student. I wasn't that special.
Yeah. That's special, actually.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you look at a lot of these kids and they're exceeding 4.0 now. It's 4.2 and 4.3.
But they're doing stuff that we didn't have when we was in school.
True. Yeah, no doubt. But when I say that, I mean, I was a B, C student, right? But I was good enough in sports to parlay that into an education at Tuskegee, and then the history there to be a part of it, because I really didn't know too much about HBCUs, especially leaving Brainerd outside of TSU for homecoming, right? Miss Hill and all the bands used to go up for homecoming. Yeah. That's the only thing we really knew. But to be a part of that network now is just amazing. I was lucky enough to meet my wife in college. Been married this year, make 18 years.
Man, congrats.
3 boys. You mentioned fatherhood. So I got 3 boys, 15, 13, and 10. I wouldn't know what to do with a girl.
Yeah.
So if you need advice on being a father to a young lady, I have no idea. Say
Don't
yes.
call you.
That's it. You want boys? I got you. I'm your man.
Yeah.
And so that has shaped me, man. Fatherhood is amazing. There's no true answers to fatherhood. Mm-hmm. It's about your experiences and what you believe in that helps shape you.
Yeah.
That you become that type of father.
Right.
And, and now I'm a fitness entrepreneur. I'm back in Chattanooga. Lucky enough to own a company called Nothing But Net, which is basketball training facility, the only one in Chattanooga. Mm-hmm. And then lucky enough to own Union Performance Academy down in Atlanta here. So I'm still playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm still around sports. I'm still loving what I do. I'm still that B/C student, but just taking risks.
Yeah,
right.
That's it.
Yep. Surrounding myself with A students.
Right. That's it. Hey, that's what you got to do, man.
That's it, man.
Man, I personally want to say thank you for being a dad.
Appreciate
it. This podcast means a lot to me just because of my experience of being a dad. Mm-hmm. I have 2 kids. They're little babies.
Yeah.
And the things that I've learned in my small time of being a dad and the things that I thought, before becoming a dad are completely different.
They are.
You get thrown left hooks and right hooks and you're like, how do I block these?
Right.
Right. So this podcast is truly to pay homage to people that are dads and, just being there and doing their part or doing what they think is right. Because we all don't have the answer.
There is no the answer.
You're right. It's we wake up and we do it again.
Yeah. That's it.
We put our feet on the ground and move forward. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to do a little icebreaker. What's a story, when you think about fatherhood, what's a funny story about your journey in fatherhood?
Ooh, that's a great question. A funny story about my journey in fatherhood. You know what? I don't know if it's a funny story. It's just, I think the biggest thing is a coach, right? Mm-hmm. And I got a chance to coach with my oldest son, his little league team. Yeah. And each and every one of those kids were different. And it made me realize that, hey, there's no one way to be a dad. And what I mean by that is I had the little disrespectful kid, right? And who would talk back all the time. And I had the disciplined kid right here that, yes, sir, the very coachable ones. And I had the ones in between. But now that I see them on the other end, now that they're in high school, all of them turned out to be great young men.
Yeah.
No matter, in our culture, we would see kids and it's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Right.
And that kid turns out to be all right. Mm-hmm. But the one that was not paying attention, that was a free spirit, turned out to be just as fine.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's no one way to do this parenting thing. And I don't know if that's a funny story, but that was my aha moment to parenting. Yeah. Like, you gonna let your kid do that and say that? But then I see this 16 or 15-year-old now, and he's like, how you doing, Mr. Henderson? Everything going all right? Yeah. Good to see you. And they open up and say thank you more than the kid that had the discipline, right? Yeah. And so there's no true one way. But that was my aha moment.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. No, it wasn't funny, but it was good.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. Parenting ain't no joke.
It's not, man. It's a lot of work. And then from the dad side, what we don't see is, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but what we don't see is the stressors or the pressure that we carry. Yeah. But we're built to carry it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's we have all these things coming from one side. I want you to go back to 15, 16-year-old Kenny.
Okay.
And what was your outlook then on fatherhood? Like, who were the people that you looked up to? Yeah. Who you said, hey, that's what I want to do, or what your aspect or your point of view of fatherhood was then?
I was blessed. I really was, man. My dad was an amazing dad. I don't want to say was, he still is. Yeah. But my dad had the military background, and so I had a bedtime in high school. And it was strict. It was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You look them in the eye, you shake their hand tough. It was just by the book. You do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. It was that type of dad. And I wouldn't have it any other way. because it helped shape and evolve myself.
Right.
But when I say I was really, really blessed, not only did I have that, I had some great coaches, right? And a lot of people don't see the effect that a coach has in kids' life, but oftentimes that is their dad to kids that don't have that father in their home. And so I had a coach like Coach Jackson. You familiar with Coach Jackson?
Coach Jackson.
Coach Jackson taught me discipline, but he taught me coolness, right? Coach Jackson had every Air Max that you can think of, every turn training. That's when the Barry Sanders, he would come and have that. He was cool, but he got the respect, right? Yeah. And he wouldn't let me veer off on my path, right? He would care for me just as much as my dad. Then I had, my friends, fathers, right? Coach Ward, you know Coach Ward as well. Tyrus is my best friend, like my brother. But he was just as strict as my dad, right? Because he's military background as well, right? And so when I left my house, I got the fathering of a Coach Ward. When I left that house, I still got the fathering of a Coach Jackson. And then Riley Walker. And I was around him growing up. That was my coach. His dad was my coach. And he was just the coolest dad ever, right? And so I was blessed to always be around father figures. Always, no matter who it was, all my friends, we all had father figures in our life. And that kind of helped keep all of us on the straight and narrow, right? And they say you are who you hang around, right? And I hung around really good young men. And you mentioned the Tyruses, the Tonys, the Riley Walkers, the Chews, all that. And they really cared about us and steered us the right way. So my journey wasn't one of, and I know everybody likes to rag the riches story, but that wasn't my journey, man. I was really taken care of from a father figure standpoint. And that helped me shape my way in with my kids.
That was my next question. How did the fathering that you had growing up, how does that affect? I don't want to say affect. I want to say how does your fathering reflect in your fathering today to your kids?
No, I get what you're asking, and that's a loaded question. And here's why I say that is times have changed, right? So you can't do exactly what your dad did, right? My kids are not growing up in Brainerd; they're growing up in suburban Woodstock, Georgia, right? And so their environment is different, so I have to treat it different. But that serves as the base, right? And you build off of that. And so I'm happy my father gave me a great base, right? But when you think about parenting, and I treat it just like a marriage, you're different every 2 to 3 years, right? Whether that's my job, whether that's how my marriage, right? Because I'm a firm believer, if you can't pour into your kids from an empty cup, that cup has to be filled from marriage, then you pour into it because you want to be a good example to your kids. But when I had my first kid, Trip, I was 25. I was still playing football. I was rambunctious. I was still young in my ways, right? And so I'm a different father then, right? We living in New Jersey. My wife was in the military at the time. I'm a different father, right? After that, we moved back to Atlanta, had my second son. At that time, that's when the economy went down. That's about 2010. We had my second son. I was living in the basement of my in-laws, right? And so I'm a different father mentally because I feel like, we talked about that. I'm not providing. Depression hits, all this stuff. And then my third kid, right? It's a little different. Now I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a little bit more financially stable. So I can do different things, right? And so I felt like I'm a different father at different points. That foundation is still there from my dad where I'm going to be stern because that worked for me. But like my decision making at 25 is not the same at 35. Right. And I hope it wouldn't be for most people. Maturity has to set in.
You gotta.
Right. Maturity has to set in. But that's my foundation. But I'm a totally different father.
Do you see the difference?
Heck yeah. You see the difference in each kid, right? And I mean, it's just that first kid, right? You have that first kid, you make sure they read, you make sure they write, you make sure they eat their vegetables, you make sure they're going, do everything they need to do. That second kid, you go ahead, you loosen that bit, right? You loosen that leash a little bit, and they're a little bit more adventurous, right? They're a little bit more susceptible to their environment. That third kid is just like, all right, your brother's gonna raise you. Go with your brothers, right? It's almost to that point, like go with your brothers. That's why they say the third one's probably the best athlete. Because they always go with their brothers. They always trying to keep up with their brothers, right? And the oldest brother is tired of having the little brother right behind them. But that's just what it is, right? And your leash is a lot longer with that third kid, right? Because a lot of times you have the finances to do whatever you need. So you can throw money at problems, right? You can say, hey, you want something to eat, I'll just get you carry out. Whereas a 25-year-old, you may not have that.
Right.
And so you got to get up and you got to cook that meal, and it's made with a little bit more love. Right. And so that's the difference for me with my 3 where I was.
Man, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
That is so funny because I see it with my kids. You know, my 5-year-old, we ain't have much.
Yeah.
You know, and then like he comes along, he started off in the house. You know, our first house, you know, so that's the big difference between there and, of course, their girl and the boy.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's another thing.
I'll let you have that girl thing.
Boy, it's something else too, man. I want you to think back to 25.
Okay.
When you had your first son, and what was your mindset? What was your thought processes about becoming a dad for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I knew I would be a good father because that foundation was laid.
Yeah,
my father would not let me be a good father, right? And so that basis of, hey, I'm going to be there for him, I'm going to hold him, I'm going to be there for his first steps. You know, I'm just going to be there, right? And that was my perception of fatherhood, just be there, which isn't a bad perception,
right?
But I was young, man. You know, and I thought it was just a cool thing to do. Not saying having kids is a cool thing, but I knew that was my next step. All right, I got married, 2 years later, have a kid, right? And then what, right? How do you raise this kid?
Right.
What do you do? Yeah, you read to him. I mean, you do the little things, but at 25, you're still trying to figure out life on your own, let alone raise another kid. Now you figure it out, right? With your wife or, you know, with whoever you had a kid with, but like I didn't know what I'm doing. It's experience, right? It's your first time, right? The first time you write a paper, you don't write the best paper, but that third time you write that paper, I know how to not to miss. Entrepreneur. The first time you open up that business, you make so many mistakes, it costs you so much money. That third time you open it up, you like, I got this. I ain't gonna fill out this paperwork. I don't need this. Right. I'm gonna fill this one out. I'm gonna say this $45 over here. You know, it's just the little stuff. No unexperienced, just head first, just going into it.
When you became a dad, let's fast forward a little bit to the second child. You become a dad. Now you got 2 kids, a wife.
Yeah.
You said you was living in your in-laws basement at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through that experience. Woo. Like mindset wise is I'm dad.
Yeah.
I have these 3 people that are dependent on me. Mm-hmm. What am I doing?
Can I cuss?
Man,
I was fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. I base myself and I pride myself on providing. Right. Protecting and providing. And what we did is, and so we was in Jersey, right? And I told you we were playing ball. My wife's in the military and whatnot. And then the recession hit. 2008, 2010. And so we had to short sell our house. And what short sales mean, like we sell our house for less than what it's worth. Right. And so we took about $100,000 hit on that house. And it was our first house on pool. I mean, we was living good, everything beautiful. Right. And then, you know, we moved to Atlanta. My wife wanted to get out of the military, moved to Atlanta. And so that hit didn't allow us to purchase a house in Atlanta. Right. And so we were like, what are we going to do? We stayed the parents. And so after a while, man, I was just, I got a little bit of unemployment to hold me over. And for like the first 2 or 3 months, I got a child on the way. I have one here and I'm living in my parents'. And so I felt like I wasn't doing nothing. I felt like I had no value whatsoever. Like every time I walk past my wife's dad, I'm just like, he's probably cussing me out. Like, what the hell is this person doing with my daughter? Right. And it's funny, that's how, and you see a couple of the stuff up here, like as far as medals and stuff, that's how I got into endurance running. Right. And running was my code. And so 1 mile turned into 2, and I need to get out the house, and then 3 miles. But that's how I end up with the running. But I mean, that took a toll on me mentally. It really did. And, being so young and then going through a problem that doesn't have an immediate answer, it's tough. Right. For us, we always look to fix things, especially men. Right. Babe, if you need something, I got you. Let me fix it. It's the issues that really don't have an answer. That's tough. But I ended up getting a job at Enterprise, which was a great learning experience. Right. And I'm a firm believer in faith in God. And so that really taught me how to look at a P&L. It really taught me how to run a business. Did I make the most money at the time? No, but I had enough to take care of my family
Yeah.
at that time where I didn't need a lot. I wasn't paying rent. So I took care of the family. But once I got that job and I was able to kind of get back on our feet, mentally, I was okay.
Yeah.
I was able to be a dad. Right. And then we talk about parenthood. My second kid's environment was way different because grandma's there.
Yeah.
Now, right. Now, granddad's there and mom's there. I'm at work. So my kid hangs around grandparents all day. So my second kid is way more nurturing. Yeah. He's in his feelings all the time. He's the crier. Yeah. He's the, oh, are you okay kid? Yeah. But yeah, that environment is totally different from that first kid who was, we're going to read, everything was about academics with him. Yeah. Second kid, everything was nurturing. Yeah. And so that was the big difference, man. That second kid, it was a toll. Yeah. It was a toll. Yeah.
We talk about providing and the stresses of providing. Yeah. I want to know your thoughts on, like, how you say 18 years you've been married.
Yeah.
So as a whole, as a whole, what are your thoughts on your role as dad with your wife? Because you know her before she became mom, and she knows you before you became dad. And so she knows Kenny. Yeah. She knows, okay, this is this, and this is what's gonna make him do this, and this is what's gonna make him do that. But in a whole, the way she looks at you as dad, what's your responsibility, or what you think your responsibility as dad to her?
To her, I mean,
that's a crazy question, but
I don't think I have. Well, I don't want to say
not be her dad.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have a responsibility per se to her. I think she knows my responsibilities to the kids, but my responsibility to her is to be a husband. Yeah. Right. And that in itself is a responsibility to show my kids what a marriage looks like. Yeah. How do you treat a woman? How do you take care of a woman? How do you go day by day setting up your house? Yeah. Right. They see me and my wife have our one-on-one meetings that we have. Right. Yeah. I think she may see that as my responsibility, but my personal responsibility as a dad goes to my kids. Yeah. Right. And I don't want to say I owe her anything but to be a husband. Yeah. And under that husband umbrella comes dad. Yeah. Right. And I think she'd be proud of me. Yeah. I really do. No matter how I feel about myself, because I still go through my struggles. This entrepreneur life. Yeah. And no matter what plans you make, it's tough. Right. And in some months you make $20,000 a month, and in other months you be negative $2,000-$3,000. And and that's the thing, man. Every year you turn into somebody new because of your experience, and that makes you a new father. Yeah. Every year. Yeah. Right. Because not only are you changing, your kids are changing every year. And so how do you really stay consistent with that? And that's the tough part. Yeah. But my responsibility to her is to be a husband. Yeah. My responsibility to my kids is to be a dad. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to look at it, because it's true. Yeah. You have to be that husband first. So how do you balance that, I guess?
I think life is about balance. And I mentioned earlier, you can't pour from an empty cup. Mm-hmm. Right. And so my priorities is always my wife. Yeah. And not to say that I'm a bad dad by no means. Yeah. But when you prioritize your marriage, right, you're able to give more of yourself to your kids. Yeah. Right. If I was to give myself to my kids first, then my wife would be unhappy. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm negating my kids to please my wife. Yeah. And then now I'm giving what I have left over to my kids, when I feel like if I give all to my wife, I'm more energized. I'm more of a greater Kenny to give to my kids. And they see a happy dad. They see, a smile on my face. Right. Yeah. And they don't get the tongue lashing, right? Because they may have done one thing wrong. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I was just focused on them the whole time, it may get that tongue lashing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think they get a better version of dad when I feel through my wife. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
It's a different outlook, man. and it's one that I didn't know growing up. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to. Yeah. I read my Bible, and that's what it says. And you only can get a tree if you plant it somewhere first, right? Right. Nothing grows if you don't plant it. Right. And so when I truly chose to plant myself in my marriage, everything else started growing. Yeah. Right. And the saying goes, the grass is never green on the other side, or the grass is green on the other side. The grass, it doesn't matter where the grass is where you put your seeds. Right. Right.
And you gotta nurture it, man.
Exactly. And so, you know, whether you want the grass greener here or here, I gotta put the seeds in the ground and nurture it, right? So man, that's how I look at it.
That's so dope, man. I like, for me, I look at it similar to you, but it's like, man, sometimes as dad, you can get in the way of, you know, that you so focused on that, I gotta provide, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But then you forget about everything else on the side.
Correct.
I've gone through that, you know, where I had to say, wait a minute, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do for her. You know, as dad, as husband, as Tommy, you know. And so that's where that question came from. You know, it's just like, what are your thought processes on that?
And I think, let me add something to that. I think the success of being a dad is not necessarily monetary. Because providing, yes, but providing is not monetary all the time. It's providing your time. It's providing the protection they need, right? You want your kids to feel safe around you. You want your kids to feel elevated and complete around you, right? And that's adding just as much value as any dollar would, right? Yeah, you can buy them whatever. Yeah, that's providing, but are you truly providing a sense of accomplishment around them, a sense of completion around them, a sense of comfort, you know, allowing your kid to be who they are. Yeah.
That's so dope, man. Simple question. What brings you joy as a dad?
I'm simple, man. Smile.
Man.
Accomplishment. I think I'm 41 now. I've had enough joy in my life. It's just all about my wife and them. I mean, that's just, like you said, simple question. I think simple answer, just a smile. As long as they're happy and they don't feel like they have an extra burden, or I'm not putting a burden on them, I'm good. I'm good.
Man, that's one of the beautiful things I think of when I talk about being a dad. I always think about when I get off of work. Because I'll get off of work, I gotta drive an hour home. You know, I sit in
traffic, huh?
Right. I sit in the car for about 5 minutes to get my mind right, because I know when I go in this house, it's me and the kids. Because my wife is at work. And so when I walk in, the best part of my day is Dad. They come like if they could jump, they would fly off the steps, you know. But Dad, run, hug. That hug is amazing to me. And it's from my daughter. Like she's the one that starts it. So that's the difference in, you know.
A dad is the girl's first love.
Right.
I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out of luck.
So with that, understanding that from my point of view, I got my boy, and I tell him I love him every day. How do you deal with that love from a father? Like I think about Luther Vandross' song, "If I Could Dance with My Father." You know, that's it. He's just expressing the love that he has for his father. How do you express that with your children and teaching them what love truly is? Because I think that's what's amiss with a lot of men. Is it's okay to say I love you.
No doubt. You
know, but it's not represented a lot of time, or it's not shown a lot of times. So how do you show it's okay to love?
I think you go back to the word you use, balance. Right. And it's that balance of showing tough love and then showing just nurturing love. Right. You know, I'm like you. I tell my kids I love them. Y'all take care. I love y'all. You know, and it seems cliche now that they're older, right? Because we've said it so much. But I just make sure I say it when they leave the house and just stuff like that. But I think at the age that they are now, kind of that tough love is just as important as that nurturing love that you get. Now my tough love may be, hey, Dad, I need $5 to go to the game. What you calling me for? Right? I mean, serious, like figure it out. What would you do if I didn't pick up the phone, right? And that's tough love. Not to say I don't have the $5 to give him. I can give him, but sometimes I just got to let him figure it out, right? And so I think that love is just as important because it helps grow and develop as a man, problem solving and all that. Because once you hit 15, you know, that I love you really don't mean nothing. They ain't coming to jump in your arms when you get home or anything. The best you can probably have is your own handshake, right? You know, you got your own custom handshake with each kid. I mean, that's the coolest thing. But I think now it's that balance of, yes, I love you, but it's time for you to do some struggling, right? And it's time for you to grow up a little bit and just show them the way. It's a lot of times they don't want to cut the grass or something like that. Hey, I know y'all don't want to cut it, but let's go make this happen.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll benefit them in the long run. So my kid's at a different age. So
Yeah.
my baby gets spoiled because he's 10, right? He gets the hugs, he gets the love. And my oldest gets the slap in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Go outside and do what you got to do, son. Make it happen, you know? And so I think it's the balance. It's the balance.
That's so funny, man. I personally, my wife, she always be like, man, I wish they would do this. Mm-hmm. I be like, man, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it when they jump on me. Mm-hmm. You know, my son will sit on my head and I be like, bro, come on, man. I don't need you up here. But, you know, just their warmth and their being around.
I mean, the kid's love is unconditional.
Yeah.
I just say you want to know the truth, ask the kid.
Yeah.
Or an old person.
Right.
And the kid will tell you what you need. If they truly love you, they'll show you.
Yeah.
And so that sitting on top of your head, you may seem like, man, come on, man.
Right.
But cherish it. They don't, once they hit 10, 11, they stop.
Yeah.
They stop.
You probably want them not to sit on your head.
You probably at that age, of course. But now it becomes Fortnite. It becomes everything else except for dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
man, I think it's the relationship between dad and son, dad and daughter. I cherish, for me right now, is my daughter's relationship. I tell you something that we had to go through. It was a struggle of mine. And I just want to hear one of your struggles. But I think Lily was 3. Mm-hmm. We found out she had a speech delay.
Okay.
And we couldn't figure out why.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to the ear doctor, and they told us that she needed to wear a hearing aid.
Okay.
So hearing that, I failed.
Yes.
I internalized that to the point where my wife had to sit me down and say, you didn't fail. Mm-hmm. We're getting her the help that she needs. Correct. But I'm looking at it as what happened when she was little, that there's a speech delay.
Yeah.
That she lost some hearing. Did I do something wrong? You know, she can't do this. The other kids can do this, you know, and I'm looking at it from that standpoint. So that hurt me so bad. Yeah. Like, oh man, I can't deal with that, you know? With your experience, what was that, I guess to for lack of a better word, what was that thing that you had to walk back from walking off the plank from?
So we talked earlier about sports, right? And so with me having success in sports, and my wife as well, she ran track at Tuskegee.
Oh, okay.
Everybody automatically assumed that my kids would be good at sports, right? And then so I've had numerous occasions to where I think I pushed my kids too hard, right, in sports, and realize it's their journey, not mine. In specific, my youngest, and it's funny, I didn't go through this with my oldest. Well, I did a little bit. It wasn't to the point. And so I'm at a different spot in my life to where I can go to everything with my youngest. Practices, I'm coaching, and all that stuff, right? And I found myself at a game. And the one thing I told him to do was like, this is baseball. If you're going to strike out swinging. Don't just sit there and look at it. Right? And we just talked about it. And I think it was like 2 people on base, and we really needed a hit. Just put contact on the ball. And he looked at that third strike. Yeah. And I yelled, swing the goddamn bat. and at that moment, I just had to look at it, and it was like, man, that's not the father you want to be. Right? Let me step back and let him be a kid, because I'm putting too much pressure on him. Right? He's already successful. He's doing, he doesn't need my additional pressure. And then from there on, I've noticed it took him to make me notice it, but I look at it with all my kids now whenever they play in sports. It's never, man, you suck, you this, you that. Right now, it's a little bit tougher for my oldest. I give him tough love. He is an outstanding runner, right? But he doesn't see his own potential. That's another story for another day. But I realized that my journey is not theirs, right? Just because I played sports and was successful doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing, right? And I think that was my biggest moment, to where I just had to step back and just say, hey, just be a dad, enjoy the moment, right? It's not your fault, right? It's not anybody's fault. They're giving it their all, and that's just fine. Right.
That's dope, man. I was going to ask you about that too. Like, because I had a conversation with Greg about our kids playing football. You know, he got a son, I got a son. I was like, I want them to play football. I want my daughter to play football. I fell in love with football because I broke my leg and I wasn't able to play.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is it for me. If I could go anywhere, go pro, I would want to play football.
Yeah.
So just understanding that it's their journey if they want to play. How did you decide to get them into sports?
I mean, my wife and I, we're truly, truly, truly into fitness.
Yeah.
Like that's our thing. That's my entrepreneurship journey with the basketball and the gym.
Yeah.
And she's behind me every step of the way. We work out every day, 5 a.m. So they geared naturally to sports, right? 3 boys, what else are you going to do around the house? For a place, you're going to throw the ball around, you're going to break some stuff, right? You're going to tackle each other, you're going to wrestle. And so it was just natural for them to play sports, right? And so they gravitated towards that. And then as a sports dad, as soon as you get that first kid, like, here's the football. Yeah. Right. And then they got in the crib with the football, you take that one picture with the football, and so 20 years later, you're like, he was born with football in his crib, right? But that's I put it there, right? But you always say that. And so, they just naturally gravitated towards it. Like I said, I'm a kid always. That's what I do. I play sports all the time. And I work out all the time. But I've been lucky enough to have a career in it, right? Yeah. So I don't think I forced it. They actually wanted to do it. They wanted to do it. My oldest is a cross country and a track runner, right? I never did that in school. But so I do Ironman and all that stuff. I think he's noticed me doing distance stuff. And remember I told you depression, 1 mile turning 2. And he naturally seen it and did it on his own and is doing real good, right?
That's dope.
But sports is just a way of life in this family. Some people, like I mentioned, some people smart, some people academia, some people can cook, we just play sports.
Just play sports.
I'm not saying we're the best by no, because we're far from it, but that's what we enjoy, being active, right? And there's so much value in it, and I wanted to push that way just because I got friends of all different races, color, creeds. I feel comfortable in any room I walk in because there's no experience like being in a locker room of 53, 60 to 100 other men, and you're a captain or you're the person they look up to, right? And so any boardroom I go into or any sale I got to close, I feel comfortable, right? Because of those experiences. Right, whether it's 4th and 10 and you got to come up with that play, well, you got to make the same sale. In
it's
business,
just a different
it's the same
field.
Thing. That's it. And so I want to teach my kids that at least. It's going to be some bumps and bruises. They're going to have some losses and stuff, but you're going to have friends for life. I know my wedding party, all my friends was somebody I played sports with, right? And it's just experiences are unmatched. So that's kind of the sports deal behind it.
I got you, man. It's a fight at my house because the thing is, it's like, by no means I was one of the greatest athletes. The school was my thing. Yeah. Like learning,
easy.
Let me learn this.
Yeah.
But I had a challenge in sports. I didn't start playing football until I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
I think I was like 6th or 7th string running back.
Yeah.
9th grade, I didn't see the field. 10th grade, my job was to run forward.
That's right.
Go forward.
Give me 7 yards.
Right. I can do that.
Yeah. Right.
But it's what I learned because I had to learn how to catch.
Correct.
I had to learn footwork. Track, I wasn't the fastest person, but I excelled in the 400. So I had to learn how to breathe.
Correct.
I had to learn how to get to your top speed, maintain it for a lap. You know what I'm saying? But understanding there's somebody else there to push me.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Or being able to pay attention to what you were doing and go emulate that. The best way that I could. Or being a freshman and you see Antonio Arnold coming to hit you. That's one thing. That's one big blessing that I talk about. Is because this dude nickname was Waterboy.
He was,
But I met him as an 8th grader. And his senior year was my freshman year. So in practice, of course we got to hit each other. But he never hit me hard. Never. Like
I'm the nicest, meanest person.
He was.
Around, man.
He was. But he never hit me hard. And that's just me being who I was.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it taught me so many things, And that's the battle between me and my wife, because my wife didn't play sports.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't see the true value.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of sports gets a bad negative, how much it costs.
Yeah.
One, right? And I just paid $1,000 for my son to play baseball.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it. I could have spent that money elsewhere.
Right. Of course. We always can do that.
You hear about the injuries, which just happened. My youngest guy just broke his forearm. Yeah. Right. It happens, right? That's part of the game. There's nothing you can do that will not have any negative on it. Right. So even if you say, I'm gonna take my son to coding camp, right? Yeah, but you're gonna be locking him in a classroom all day. Where's his social skills? Right. And so there's a balance with everything you do. And that's the same thing with parenting. There's no one way to do it. You know, just whatever your kid gravitates towards, feed it. Yeah. Feed it because it'll grow.
Yeah. That's it's so funny, man. Like, I'm enjoying this conversation because it's like I'm just throwing you a little something. You just get.
I'm going.
Yeah, let me say.
I love being a dad. I truly do. I love this life. But it took a while for me to get into. Yeah. Especially when you get married so young. So I was 23 when I got married, and it's just like your per se funnest times of your life. You're 23 to 30, right? I wasn't living that life. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out being super crazy. I was coming home to a wife. Right. I was coming home, not saying that's not fun, but you don't appreciate it then like you do now. Exactly. Right. As 35, I got a different appreciation than I do when I was 25. Yeah. Right. I say all that to just bring it back full circle. This dad stuff is the funnest thing ever. It's the funnest thing ever. But the thing about it, you'll never be an expert on it.
Nah. The best thing for me is the surprise of every day. Like what we getting into today. Mm-hmm. If you look at it from an adventure part, each kid is different.
Very much so.
Each kid is gonna, you have to nurture differently. You have to raise differently. Mm-hmm. It can even go from, I yell at this kid, he gets it. I yell at that kid, I got to spend time with this kid and say, I'm sorry. I don't never have to say I'm sorry to this kid. Right. But everything I have to say I'm sorry to this kid. So that's the beauty of parenthood. Yeah. That's the beauty of fatherhood, relationships, because you understand as the kid, like you said earlier, as the kid get older, things change. Yeah. The relationship change. One day, the relationship is going to change with you and your kids. Yeah. As far as from being my child to you're grown. Yeah.
You become my best friend.
Right. Almost. Yeah. What are the things you look forward to when your baby is at that point? So once your baby gets there, your other two are already there.
Yeah, man. I look forward to the times when Christmas comes around and all the boys come back home. Yeah. Or the time that my kids come and say, Dad, I got this apartment. Won't you come help me with this? Yeah. Right. Or the times like, hey, Dad, you remember when you told me such and such and such and such? You know what? You were right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to those times. I look forward to the time like, hey, Dad, hey, Dad, I think I'm gonna propose to her. Yeah. Right. I look forward to those moments. It's just, because I remember those conversations I had with my dad and I can see joy on his face. I look forward to the times that my son scores a game-winning touchdown if he ever does. Right. Yeah. I look forward to those, especially in college. Yeah. Right. I look forward to the call when he says, hey, I got my first job. Yeah. Right. Or I made my first 100,000. Yeah. Or, Dad, you know what? I just saved X amount of money from that tax trick that you taught me, right? Those are the moments I look forward to. Just that grown-up moment, man. That one call that may come every 6 months. Yeah. But I'm just looking forward to it, man. Just more of a man. Sports is great, man, but just more of that life lesson. Yeah. And then that's when you like, I must have did something right. Right. I must have did something right.
Did my job.
Yeah, right? Hey,
job's not complete.
No, never complete. But hey, Dad, I'm cutting the grass and such and such and such and such. I'm like, you cut the grass on your own? Yeah, we're doing something, right? We're doing something.
Man, that's dope. Last two questions, man. Okay. What is if you could say anything to 25-year-old Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say?
Appreciate what you got.
Why?
A lot of people take it for granted, man. Like I said, I'm 25, I'm young.
Yeah.
Right? Own up to your decision to be married. Own up to your decision to be a father. I was lucky. All my kids were playing.
Yeah.
Right? Own up to that decision and really cherish it.
Yeah.
Right? I think I caused unnecessary stress on my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm going out this weekend, such and such, such and such. Not really understanding what it takes to be not necessarily a father. I wasn't a bad father, just a young father, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wish, and again, I wasn't mature.
Yeah.
So thank my wife for being there for me. It truly takes teamwork, but just cherish it, man. Cherish it. Really invest, right? Because if you don't invest, then you're gonna reap that on the back end.
Yeah.
Right. And not to say nothing's wrong with my kids by no means because of their mother.
Yeah.
Right. But just cherish it, man. Because I've ran into a lot of friends who kids are no longer with us, who kids, like you may mention, may have something wrong with them by any means. And just cherish the blessings that you have right in front of you.
Yeah.
Because they're there for a reason. And I tell you what, it'll be a lot better on the back end.
Yeah.
Right. Just like investing, right? Invest now, right? You'll really reap what you sow back then.
Yeah.
Like when you're 25, you don't think about investing. You go hard about the Father. I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have invested more into my kids. Yeah.
Okay. Last question, man. We're gonna get on out of here. Okay. If you could say anything to your kids today, what would you say?
Oh man, that's a question. I know they hear it all the time, but I love them.
Yeah.
I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything else. They can stay with me for the rest of their life. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my one thing I would say to them. Yeah.
That's a dad.
That's it.
That's a dad.
Don't put no pressure on yourself, man. You've done well. You're doing well.
Yeah.
You're going to be successful just because of the kid you are. But I'm proud of you no matter what happens.
Yeah, man.
We can work through anything together.
Right.
So even if you fell out of school, we can figure something out.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm proud of them. I love them. And that's what I would tell them.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's our episode today. Kenny, I really appreciate this conversation, man.
Appreciate you.
Definitely the mission or the purpose of the conversation is just to get it out there.
Yeah.
It's just to say what we need to say. So other men can follow, if it's a situation that another man is going through, hear something. Maybe it's not the same situation, but how you handle one thing or what you thought about something else, somebody may hear and be like, that's it.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I enjoy this conversation.
Yeah. So again, thank you for being a dad.
Of course. Appreciate it.
Being the legend that you are, because you are a legend.
I'll take it.
You are a legend. But everybody, thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to the channel. Anything you want to say about your businesses or anything like that you want to put out?
If you're in Chattanooga, need basketball training, make sure you visit Nothing But Net. If you're in Atlanta, you like fitness training, please look me up at Ken_Hen_ on Instagram. All my links to the businesses are on there. Open up a new gym at the end of February called Union Performance Academy. That's downtown Atlanta. It's a High Rocks training facility. And just one thing I can say, man, there's no right or wrong answer to this fatherhood, man.
Yeah.
Do what you believe in and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, guys, we finna get out of here. Peace.
Salute.